Alright, so we're back at it again. Welcome back to License to Send. We are dealing with the CTS-V project, trying to figure out what is going on with this engine. Last episode, we pulled the K-member, obviously dropped that whole shit out, so now we're going to work on removing like the supercharger, the accessories, the headers, the heads, probably pull the transmission off of it and try to flip the engine block upside down and kind of see what's going on with like the main caps and stuff. We weren't able to see if there was anything wrong with the cam bearings as near as we can tell, so it might be like something bottom end where we have to dig a bit further. We're hoping that the low oil pressure issue kind of happened early and we caught it quick enough to where there's not any major damage and the block is reusable. So yeah, with that said, let's dive into this and kind of see what we're dealing with and where we wind up. Welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment if you're into this kind of stuff. Let's get started. So now that we get the supercharger and some of the accessories off, I'm going to go ahead and yank the heads. And then after that, I think we'll work on separating the transmission from the engine. Then we'll figure out what we're going to do with the engine as far as flipping it and looking at the main caps.
This one's all good. No signs of extra heat.
Yeah.
Cylinder walls don't have any ridges or anything.
Well, this side looks good. Now y'all get to watch me tear the other side off. Alright, well now we're at the point where we can take this shit off to see if we find any bearing material sticking out of anything on this. So let's get the party started.
That's crazy. That little puck. And then that zipped it up. I don't think they come up very real easy.
I have no idea. Last time I pulled an engine apart this far, it split in half, and the time before that, it was a small block. So I don't remember.
Yeah, small blocks typically come up pretty easy. I think you got to use like 2 power blocks at least.
It's just me being impatient. I was like, maybe.
What's the coloring look like on it? Or what's the bearing look like?
Looks like it's on the...
Looks like it's fine.
This one? How do you know?
Look, the line in between the bearings isn't. Just temporarily slide that back on. And just maybe barely start
Are those
the
hot
bolts.
spots or no?
I don't think so. I think that's just oil spots. See how this one has that on it?
Yeah.
This one has a thrust bearing. It's part of the thrust bearing.
Oh yeah.
Thrust is front to back. So this has like a spacer for front to back.
Found our culprit.
Unless that wore off of the other one. But when this spins and starts twisting in the cap is when you start tearing the block up.
You get what I mean?
Yeah. If it was overheated, I would think it would look like a rainbow.
Yeah, I just saw all the dark blackness, so I don't know.
To me, it looked like more like a baked oil. That one's bad too. That's a little warm. I don't know. That one looks almost.
If you're confused, then I sure as hell don't know what's going on.
But that bearing spun.
And here's the other one. Wahoo. Come on. There it goes. Well. Alright, what does that mean?
We just gotta hope the block's still good now.
That's for sure where all that.
Yeah.
That's definitely one where it all came from.
But the good thing is, look, it's still not spun. I think block's still fine. At this point, I know it's still okay. Well, the fact that I look down there and the bearing is still in its spot, but the outside wasn't chewed up like it was spinning while it was running.
This is the front of the engine. You can see that one was just starting to have issues. Okay, there we go. That last one's really the only question one.
So number 3 was our worst. now that it's stuck back in?
I mean, I thought number 3 was worse than number 2, or better than number 2.
Because number 2, yeah, that's the one the whole bearing was hanging out, wasn't it?
Yeah, the number 2 had the whole bearing hanging out because number 3 had the cap on it, or whatever you were calling it.
Yeah, this is the one that with the thrust bearing.
So I think from here we just buy a rotating assembly.
We'll research, or I'll look around a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's just what it needs. Rotating assembly, remachine it. Well, one thing I like to see too is the rods aren't S's,
Yeah.
which means our tune was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, it seems like he's more confident than I am just because I don't know. I've not ever had this issue before. This is a slightly new experience for me. But he seems pretty confident that we can just get away with a rotating assembly at this point and have the block remachine. So I'm happy about that because that goes from like a what, $2,000 to $3,000
$7,000 build to a
more than 7.
yeah, it was like almost 8, wasn't it?
It was like 9 before taxes, and that didn't account for anything else that I was going to have to do, tune-wise, fuel system, you know, that kind of shit. So, like, I think it was just like basically just a short block built was going to be like $8,500 before TT and Tel with like, or textile license. It's like going to be like $8,500 before taxes to have a short block built. I think right now it's probably closer to like $3,000 for just a rotating assembly, and then whatever machine work will cost. And then, you know, obviously from there we may get a little spicy depending on like how long things take and how much budget I can save up between then and now, and maybe put a Kong on it, or maybe I throw money at a fuel system for now, and then we save up, and a few months down the road we throw a Kong on it. Yeah. And go from a, you know,
Or we compound a turbo through the LSA.
yeah, I don't know. If it was probably any other car, I'd say, oh, there's plenty of room. Let's fucking do it.
You don't need a hood.
I don't need a hood. Okay, yeah. We're just trying to have 1,000 horsepower daily, guys. So,
As you're laying on what could possibly be 1,000 horsepower daily.
yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right. So, do we end it here? Or do we make this a continue video? You think?
I think this is a pretty good end.
It's a good video.
Because then we just gotta figure out what goes back in it.
All right. Well, that's it for this video. We got to figure out what goes in it. Hopefully, next video we get to update y'all or have some parts, or ooh, actually, we have other shit we can work on. So maybe we start working on some of that while we wait and figure things out. So maybe stay tuned for heat exchanger.
We're gonna drag y'all through a shop cleaning video. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's do it. Taylor Ray can do it, man. Hell yeah. We probably should. Probably next video will be starting some of the heat exchanger parts.
We gotta mount the heat exchanger, fit the bumper.
Well, I think first what we need to do is figure up in the bumper where we're going to mount the pump and fit the tank in here to figure out how the hose routing goes, and then we can do the crash bar mount and figure out how all that shit goes, because some of that we're going to have to build custom brackets for off of that crash bar for the coolers, because some of those coolers mounted to the...
Right, now what if we just do a single piece of 5-inch right there and a rear mount turbo?
Get out of here. This fucking guy. We're trying to send it too hard. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you like what you see. If you don't like what you see, hit the thumbs down. Whatever. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.